Good evening. This is the July 17th meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. The time is 6 o'clock, and we are going to convene into work session prior to coming out in general session at 6:30. So with that, we'll go into our work session.
Yeah, I'll explain that to you.
Yeah.
Or she will.
Yep. Okay. So we are in work session. Our first order of business is to call the roll. We'll start with the commission members. I'm Edmund Haas, chair of the commission. Commission members Sue Blankenship.
Present.
Ed Marr.
Present.
John Dobmeyer.
Here.
Did I get that right?
Yep, you did. Bang, bang.
Okay, and then online, Cindy Bishop. Okay, I heard her say present, so the speakers are on over there, but I don't hear in here. But
Yeah.
okay, so we're going to have both Kent and Freddie out tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then Mary Thorne Boswell, if you'll introduce staff members and lead us off.
All
Work
right.
session.
We've got Matt Steer, Development Services Administrator, Cole Baker, Graduate Engineer, Bob Hager, City Attorney, Jacqueline Nivens, Senior Admin Assistant, Cammie McGee, Board Secretary, and Mr. Louis Rahil, Assistant Director. So this evening we have several items on the agenda. The first two, number 6 and 7, they've actually requested to be withdrawn. So they're working on some items on their plans. So they'll be coming back next month.
John, you had a question about those?
So we can take those two together and just,
Okay. We have to vote to accept the withdrawal?
yeah, we're just acknowledging that they're
Okay.
withdrawing it. Because
So-
we did advertise it,
So there'll be a motion and a,
yeah,
okay.
just to make it nice and clean. We won't,
And the important, because it's, there's shot clock involved with flats. That's why we're doing it too, so that there's a record that they're withdrawing it, so shot clock doesn't run, so.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Same shot clock.
So still a 30-day, right?
Yes, sir.
So item 8 is North Lake Estates over 804 Bullock Drive, otherwise known as. So just to kind of, I did speak with one of the residents there just before the meeting. Just so there's no confusion, this lot is not growing any bigger. This is the size of the lot. It's just that half of the lot has some commercial zoning on it. So just some backstory. This lot and the Dickey's lot was owned by the same entity at one point. Both lots have now been sold back in 21 and 23, I believe. So the gentleman who's bought the 804 Bullock now wants to construct a house on it. So there used to be a house, it burned down, it's vacant. Dickey's back in 2000 or 99, when they built their facility, I guess wanted some extra parking. So there was an SUP that was done to provide extra parking at the back of this lot. Because it was owned by the same entity, it was approved. So now all we're trying to do is make this lot whole again in terms of having the same zoning all the way through. So once the zoning gets approved, then you can come back with building permits and building plans to build a house on it.
Does that affect the parking?
No,
for
because Dickey's had enough parking per ordinance.
Got it. That's kind of the question.
Yeah, so they wanted extra park. This is all extra parking. So one of the conditions is that they will tear down or tear the parking lot. They're going to realign the fence so that it contains all of their property.
There's no easements or anything that go along with that from the Dickies or anything, is there?
No, not to
No,
our
okay.
knowledge, no.
So if they wanted to keep the parking lot, could they?
Who, the residential owner,
Correct.
we're making that a condition
Why are
that they
we
tear it up.
requiring it that it's removed?
Because it should be their backyard and,
It's their rear yard, and I
Yeah.
assume they wanna either develop or sell the property, because otherwise it's subject to the ordinance. So,
Right, but I think the question is why are we requiring, do they have to remove it?
Yeah.
Can't they just build, saw cut out what they want for the house and leave their backyard
If
as
they want to put
concrete
a
backyard?
basketball court back there,
I'm just, that's what I think.
or
the
if they're
question-
or if they're like maybe putting a driveway, like there's a lot of
there's
back.
no,
I'm just
they
curious.
can't have a
why-
driveway in the back.
unless.
There's no
well,
alley.
There's no alley
If
there.
someone
No,
were to
if you
get a
drive
loan to buy the
up around the
property,
house.
Drive?
Yeah,
if someone, but if a bank or someone for financing purposes, if it was subject to that requirement, they may not make a loan for that. Because you've got some
Right, but
other
that should be
use.
part of the zoning.
yeah. I'm not suggesting we wouldn't rezone it. I'm just suggesting that I'm
Oh.
just curious why the removal of the parking lot's a requirement of the
Of
rezone.
the zoning.
Because you can have there's no reason you can have, a concrete in the back in your
Yeah.
backyard.
So
Once
is
we
that the-
rezone it, they can do what they want with
Was
it.
that the request of the owner, or was that our request?
Well, when we talked to him, we said, are you gonna take it out? And he said he would take it out, so we're just putting it as part of the whole thing.
But he doesn't have to, if he doesn't want to.
I guess so, but it does impact your drainage and other stuff on a residential lot, because normally you can, it does impact,
It's an impervious surface,
exactly.
and then you might.
And normally we don't allow, full concrete in the backyard.
How do you know?
Well,
We don't allow it, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, just like we didn't allow
We know
park
something
courts,
they
but that
don't.
doesn't mean.
Yeah.
should we be looking at your house there soon?
Yep.
Should we come visit? We put it as that, if you guys want to take that out, that's fine, but
I just don't see how it's a zoning issue. I mean, when they come to build the house and pull a building permit and give a site plan, well,
Just looking at the lot, I don't know that they have to build a small house, so they might have standoff issues, just the way it is. I don't know, they could leave it there.
Yeah, well, one thing that I saw was there was a fire lane easement associated with that drive. So we wouldn't want a fire lane easement in their backyard,
Yeah,
in that
sure.
drive aisle, so.
This is gonna vacate that easement, correct?
Right.
we couldn't find any type of formal easement that was,
filed
They,
a
they
record.
didn't, they didn't follow through on the documentation.
Got it. They never filed in the record.
right.
Okay.
So, I have a question. But having this triangle as a residential use is inconsistent with the comprehensive master plan, right? Because it hasn't listed what is industrial special district.
Right, but the lot already is zoned single-family residential. We're just allowing him to complete that zoning so he can build a
So-
house. Because the rest of the neighborhood is single-family residential.
Right. So even when it was used as a Dickey's parking lot, it was zoned residential.
No.
It was rezoned for a special use permit. So, background, all that neighborhood, Howell, Bullock, at some point was actually all commercial. And then back in the 60s or 70s, they rezoned a good chunk of it to single-family 7, and they did the PD. And this was to allow the people to actually finance the houses that were built there. So,
Right, I
Yes,
remember that,
well-
right.
while the future land use map shows something different, you can't negate what the property's already zoned. So we're just putting back what's already there to make the property cool. Does that make sense?
So it was a special
We
use
didn't want split zoning
permit
on a piece.
as a parking lot and that expired when the lease expired.
So the special use permit on it is still shown on it, and so we're coming back now and basically eliminating that and turning it back to single-family, residential,
Resident.
SF7.
So we don't have split zone.
So we don't have split zoning on a piece of property,
And we're incorporating it as part of PD.
and, yeah. Does that make sense?
But it's still, I mean, bottom line, I mean, it's still inconsistent with the comprehensive master plan. I'm surprised they didn't make adjustments for Bullock back then when they did the comprehensive master plan. That's another topic.
2011 is when the comp
Don't get
plan
rich balloon.
was established. Is it showing industrial for this piece?
It is.
Okay, yeah.
So, you
So-
know, once we do a new comp plan, we can take a look at that and see what, you know,
Each land is not just a
it's
vision.
schematic, right? Like it's
It's a zone.
visionary, right? So even if this was zoned single-family residential now, and the comp plan showed something different, they have the zoning, they can build single-family residential.
Yeah.
It's when if you wanna change it totally different, that you have to follow
The comp,
the
Right.
comp plan.
because
Yeah.
comp plan is prospective, not retrospective.
And this
Yeah.
is going more restrictive, right?
Yes, and this is in conformity with what is around it. So that's why we're supporting this. It's making the property whole, so the property doesn't have split zoning, and this guy can build a house.
With a concrete backyard. No.
The concrete backyard is something different.
Circular argument.
Yeah. Does that answer your question, Cindy?
Just messing.
Well, it's complicated, I guess, so that area is just kind of, yes, it has a history.
Yes. it
Soon to
does.
have a lot
So I
more
guess you can
traffic,
go,
too.
what were you saying? More restrictive to less restrictive, and that's okay to be
Actually,
inconsistent with the
this-
comprehensive master plan, or do I have it
The
back?
silver one, yes.
It's already zoned
Yeah.
residential. We're just making that lot whole, so it doesn't
No,
have split zoning.
it's zoned SUP,
The back half is.
right, the back half, which is what is before us.
Right, and all
Right.
you're doing is removing.
I can't hear what the attorney's saying,
I'm
so
saying,
sorry.
all you're doing tonight is removing that, and it'll go back to SF7.
Right,
Yep.
and that's okay to be inconsistent with the comprehensive master plan
Yeah,
because,
the
we're
primary
being-
lot itself is not in compliance with the master plan because of this old zoning product. I'm just taking off an SUP, I'm not really rezoning the primary use of the property. The primary use of the property is, has, and will be, as a result of this action, SF7. An SUP is an overlay for the underlying lot. So all you're doing is removing that use from that lot, you're not rezoning the property.
You're actually making it more consistent.
Yes.
okay, gotcha.
I know it's weird, but that whole, and I don't mean this, if anyone's watching at home, I don't mean the people that are there weird. This is kind of a weird neighborhood for us because of when it was built. It was a transition area, and the citizens that have lived there for a long time requested it have this residential component to it, and the council agreed to do it. So it's been, you know, I think about 6 months ago, we had, you know, that property that we rezoned with the PD, you know, that fronts on to Southwestern.
That was
Yeah.
industrial.
And, you know, that's the same neighborhood,
Yeah.
so it's difficult to deal with, and I know this looks strange, so.
Yeah.
It's just a strange part of town with strange zoning.
Any other questions on this one?
That's pretty much it.
Or did you answered no? There will be no more
No
questions.
more questions. So he's going to put, like the PD conditions, essentially, put a wood fence around the property. Because right now, there's a wood fence at the halfway mark, where just separating the parking area from the remainder of the lot. So one of the conditions, because typically between residential and commercial, it's a brick wall requirement, but and typically the commercial component puts in that wall. But with this, he's requesting that he be allowed to just continue using a wood fence. And so we're in support of that. And then Matt has the next item. The
Right.
golf simulator.
This is the hardest case I've ever had. Actually, it's the simplest case I've ever had,
Before
so.
you start, can I ask you a question on the
Yeah.
last one? We're not creating a bad precedent by, with the commercial, not, that there's not a brick wall there.
No,
Okay,
because typically it's to protect the residential from the commercial. And so if the residence is asking for it, they understand that
yeah, okay.
they're gonna have to replace it at some point.
Do the neighboring properties already have brick?
Madison,
Yeah,
yes.
they were probably built by the commercial
Yeah.
developer out on Denton Tap,
Yeah.
They
and
went-
they put those in.
So there's just that little piece.
Bloom embroidery, I remember they
Yeah.
put one in.
Yeah.
Because obviously
We
they had to
didn't-
drive over.
and there
the
wasn't,
one to
there
get to the
wasn't,
parking lot.
and there is not any kind of brick fence with Dairy Queen, because it,
So it's entirely possible they took it down to build the parking lot.
And if,
yeah,
Well, I'm not gonna force
Yeah, no.
the other guy to come back and put a,
Yeah.
Dickies,
yeah.
no.
yeah, so let's say the property turns over, fence gets old, comes down, stays down, change in land use on the commercial side. Still, it's because we allowed the fence,
Mhm.
that still stays with the property,
Yeah.
the wood fence.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, if someone redeveloped it and you started combining lots and did some other things, that might trigger a different response.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we probably handle that through a plan development, which we're very adroit at doing.
Okay.
All right.
Now it's
Next-
Matt's turn.
Next case is a very simple one. I don't anticipate any questions on
Just
this.
wait.
So it's a 104,000 square foot building. It's located on the northwest corner of Wrangler and South Beltline. They've done a parking analysis and they meet the parking. They've got golf simulators in the inside. And I'll go through a little bit of their operational plan for you, but we didn't receive any responses in favor or opposition. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. It's
Okay.
really simple.
Is this similar to what was done, because Pump It Up was kind of before my time, is this similar to what was done for Pump It Up?
Yeah, it's an indoor commercial amusement use.
Okay, that was, y'all did work on that before.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but it's still in those industrial buildings,
Uh-huh.
it was still like.
Yeah, we
entertainment
required a
use.
special use permit, yeah, for
Okay,
that.
so
Yeah.
this is, we're handling this one exactly like we handled that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was it, that was my only
All
question.
right, cool. Yeah, and I'll give a little more history when we're out there. Thank you, that concludes my remarks.
Is this like a video game type thing?
No, well, it might
You
be,
roll
yeah.
into a screen?
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
It's a franchise.
Well, they had
You
that
can look
thing
them
on
up
ESPN where they had a golf
Yeah.
tournament,
Yeah.
and they put up on the screen, they
Yeah.
put up whatever.
That's what I thought this
Holes
was
they
originally, but
were.
this sounds more like lessons and training.
Yeah, it's like a
Well,
golf
it's-
simulator.
yeah, they'll have some teaching professionals
I
there.
know,
But yeah, it does have the golf bays with the screens and
okay.
the computers and,
They're just doing it for training and coaching and
Right.
not for play around.
right,
Oh,
yeah.
Although you could
Um,
probably play around.
Yeah, you can probably do that.
Yeah, it
too.
looks like you can. It's membership based.
The membership.
You can buy a
and
membership and go
also-
play around the golf indoors.
Yeah. They're gonna have,
So much for Mark Twain's famous remark about golf is a good walk spoiled, now it's just standing spoiled, right?
well, so, yeah, ask the applicant about it, because I'm sure he'll tell you more about the
He'll
timeline
advertise
for construction and what sort of features they have indoors there. Okay, now that concludes my remarks.
All right,
Dick's is building a superstore, and they have a tennis facility like this, and a golf facility.
Oh, really? Where?
It's a, do you know where, Babies R Us used to be,
Yep.
and all
Up in
that, right
Louisville?
there near the Galleria?
Okay.
Not that one, but so they're taking all that space, there was Babies R Us and Bed Bath and Beyond, and they've taken both those and build a Dick's Superstore, and,
That would be neat.
yeah.
So yeah, this looks like you hit into a screen, and then right behind you, there's a bar of people watching you, and you finish your shot, you go back to the bar, and somebody else goes and hits.
It's just like golfing, you know, there's no go back to your cart and get a drink, you don't have to walk as far.
Air
Yes.
conditioning.
So in terms of the use, it says general office. So something like this, that would be the technical.
No, it's not general office for this particular use. This use would be indoor commercial amusement,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Which is allowed in that district.
So they do park one of the vacant lease spaces as professional office or general office, and that's just to plug in a parking number. So they'll have to use that vacant space as professional office.
Okay, and it's still 1 per 100.
1 per 100 is the, for the amusement.
Okay, okay, all right. Thank you.
Update?
Yes, update, council items?
So we did take 2 items to council the other week. The PD for the Town Place Suites Hotel on the Victory property, that was approved. And then we also took the St. Constantine School at the church, and that was approved. So we'll be taking those ordinances to council April 12th.
Was there a lot of discussion on the school?
August.
August 12th.
Oh, yeah, August.
Starts with an A.
Says with an
I know what you
A. I think their main thing was the traffic circulation. You know, with the 100 max students. And then Miss Clayton got up and kind of explained how their program is a combination of like 2, 3, and 5-day program. And a lot of those kids are, like a family will have like 2 kids or 3 kids or whatever. So not all kids will be there all the time. So that the most that they'll have is, I think right now they have 52 kids signed up.
How does that work if you only send your kid to school 3 days a week?
A lot of kids are homeschooled or
Yeah, it's kind of somewhere between a full-time school and homeschool.
Okay.
So they have elective days and primary education days. So that's on
Got it.
3 days, means you're getting your primary arithmetic and reading and writing.
Mhm.
And you have your electives on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and some of the homeschool kids come for the elective part of the
Got
program,
it.
not the primary part.
That makes more sense now.
yeah. So, and then between, you know, their hours of operation, the limited number of kids.
Yeah, she testified there'd be like 38, she thought, cars maximum on any given day. And that would generally be on the elective days.
Yeah, and from the traffic routing, I think it was held up to like 50 based on the.
Yeah, there was enough stacking for 50. That's why they did 100.
And the city's gonna close off that lot though.
Yeah,
the park.
Have they already bought it?
yes,
Okay.
thank God.
So
On
who owns it?
Thursday, the day they burned down.
Day the house burned?
The day the house burned, I didn't realize it was double winter that day.
So who owned the lot before, the parking lot before?
The church.
Church.
Church. We built it. They gave us a license agreement
Okay.
to use it for 25 years for the park. In exchange, we paved it.
It's been 25 years.
Yeah.
My kids played baseball over there.
Yeah,
I
I
know,
know.
sorry. I did
Yeah,
the
sorry.
original license agreement, so I feel bad about it.
Was this reviewed last session, or last meeting that I missed?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I think you were away.
Yeah,
I was,
St. Vincent.
yeah.
Any other questions on any of the items? All right, with that, it is 6:24. I'll adjourn the work session. Quick break and we'll fire up at 6:30.
All righty, the time is 6:30 and the Planning and Zoning Commission is reconvening into general session. Our first order of business is citizens' appearance. And for the first time, we have somebody. So would Kimberly Harold, would you like to come up and present your item? Typically, we allow 3 minutes on the discussion, and when you come up, if we could just get your name and address for the record.
Of course. I'm Kimberly Harold. I live at 104 Heather Glen Drive here in Coppell, Texas. I've been a Coppell citizen here for 23 years. I've lived at 104 Heather Glen for the past 15 years. I'm here to voice my concerns about the flooding that we have on our street. And on June the 3rd, we got 2.8 inches of rain, and 3 of our homes almost flooded during that rain. My garage flooded, 3 different people's garage flooded, and our homes almost flooded. So anyway, I'm just here to voice my concerns. I don't even know if this is the right forum or not. I've never been to a city council planning meeting before. I've been to the city council meeting that was last week, but I just need to start somewhere to voice my concerns.
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Well, thank you for coming before us. Normally, something like this would go to the city council, but we're glad to take the comment and would encourage you to make your remarks to city council at their next council meeting or follow on. But yeah, that night was a gully wash.
Yeah.
And I think we got like only 1.8 inches at our house, but several of the houses down the street, because of the way the alleys are sloped down the neighborhood, and
Yeah.
that water coming all the way down. So,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
We've been dealing with this for years, and we haven't voiced our concerns, but our street's been ponding and flooding for years, and it just really concerned a lot of us this last time. So anyway, thank you for hearing me.
You bet.
I
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much.
You can also go directly to the city. You don't necessarily have to wait for a city council meeting. You can schedule a meeting with, engineering at the city, what have you. So don't feel like you have to wait for a public forum.
Yes, sir, and I did that, and they told me that the rain that we had that night was, the drains exceeded the capacity of water that we had that particular day, but it is happening every time it rains. So,
Got it.
but thank you for that, sir, I
For sure.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much for coming tonight. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak in citizens' appearance? Okay. With that, I will close the citizens' appearance. Item 5 on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes from our June 18th meeting. Is there a motion, any discussion or a motion?
I motion to approve the agenda items from last month,
The June 18th meeting?
the June 18th meeting. Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay.
I lost my notes.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Blankenship. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Marr. Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or ayes. I call your name. Commissioner Domeyer.
Here.
Vice Chair Blankenship.
Aye.
Chairman Haas.
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer.
Abstain.
And Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved and opposed, motion carries.
For those that are here tonight, we do have a commission member that's remote, so Cindy, please pipe up so I don't forget you're up there, but thank you very much.
I will.
All righty, perfect. So item 6 and item 7, that has been withdrawn from the applicant at their discretion. So with that, and that is, they'll come back at a later time. They're getting some things ferreted out there. So with that, I'll make a motion to accept the withdrawal. Is there a second?
Second.
And then we have a motion by Commissioner Haas, a second by.
I have a question.
Whoa.
Is that for both 6 and 7?
This is for both 6 and
Okay.
7, that's correct. Did I get that right, Bob?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So we have a motion by Commissioner Haas and a second by Commissioner Marr, and I guess before we call for the vote, and the reason for the accepting with the withdrawal, the applicant can get his stuff done, but it doesn't start the 30-day shot clock to get the item through the process. So, Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or ayes. I call your name. Commissioner Domeyer.
Aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship.
Aye.
Chairman Haas.
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer.
Aye.
And Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay. Item 8 on the agenda is a public hearing. This is to consider approval of PD-198R-SF-7, North Lake Estates Revision, Lot 23A. The zoning request change from Plan Development Number 198-SF7 and commercial and SUP special use permit to Plan Development 198 revised, single family number 7 for lot 23A, to remove the commercial district zoning and special use permit from the rear portion of the lot to provide here we are, yeah, to remove property previously used as a parking lot for the Dickey's Barbecue Restaurant on 0.35 acres of land located at 804 Bullock Drive at the request of the property owner, being Mohammed Jafar Hanif. We have a staff presentation by Ms. Mary Perone Boswell. Mary?
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. This public hearing, this property consists of lot 23A within the North Lake Estates subdivision. So the property is outlined here in yellow. The property it's expanding anything. It's just rezoning what's already a portion of what's already there. This lot is currently vacant. The lot size is not increasing. The original plat was recorded in 1961. The homes were constructed in the late 60s and 70s. The entire subdivision was commercially zoned until 2002, when some of those homes were rezoned to SF7 within a planned development with conditions. This gave the residences conforming status, which allowed them for legal site improvements and associated insurance and financing requirements. So in 1999, Dickey's Barbecue Restaurant was approved, and they built a 4,000 square foot restaurant on the adjacent property to the east. Included in that was their required parking. In 2000, an SUP was approved for a monument sign and to add additional parking along the backside of 804 Bullock Drive. So subsequently, the property was paved, additional parking spaces were added to serve the restaurant. According to the applicant, the shared parking agreement is no longer valid. So essentially, the front of this property in yellow is zoned SF7 in the PD, and the rear in red is zoned with the SUP to allow for that commercial parking area. So just to give you a little bit more history, the property at 804 Bullock was previously had a house on it. It was subsequently destroyed by a fire and has sat vacant ever since. Previously, both the residential lot and the Dickey's lot were owned by the same entity. The residence was sold to the current owner in 2023, and the Dickey's lot changed hands in 2021. So Mr. Hanif, the current property owner of 804 Bullock Drive, would like to construct a house on the property for his family to live in. The purpose of this request essentially is to rezone the entire lot back to SF7, basically removing that SUP that allowed the parking lot, and to allow for a new residence to be constructed. As it relates to land use, the request for the single family is in keeping with the adjacent properties on Bullock Drive. As part of the changes, Mr. Hanif intends to demolish the existing paved parking area to the rear of the lot and will install a 6-foot height wooden fence along his property boundary, including adjacent to the commercially zoned property. The wood fence in this area is in lieu of a masonry wall, which is typically required between commercial and residential zoning. Staff is in favor of this requested exception. The applicant, once the zoning, if approved, would need to get a building permit to construct a house on this property. Again, because this is a zoning change request, we did send out letters as required by state law within 200 feet, and Coppell does a courtesy notice within 800 feet. We received no responses, no written responses. I did talk to a gentleman this afternoon regarding this case, and just to explain that it's not the property is growing any, it's not he's adding to it, he's just trying to rezone what he already owns. Because I think with the fence where it currently resides separates the parking lot from the rest of the residential lot, so it's kind of deceiving knowing that that parking lot is part of this residential lot. Staff is recommending approval of the request subject to the following conditions. 1, there may be additional comments during detailed building review. 2, A, approve the wood fence in lieu of a brick wall adjacent to the commercially zoned property. And B, require the existing paved parking lot to be demolished prior to a building permit being issued. That is the end of my presentation, and I believe the applicant is here as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Quick question for you, and you may have said it in your presentation, but the little easement back there, that becomes vacated with the change, the removal of the overlay.
So there was nothing that we could find that was ever filed. So it just listed but not filed of
Okay.
record.
Okay. Questions of staff by the commission? Okay. And it's not required, the applicant is asking to remove that parking lot, right? Yeah. Okay. All righty, is the applicant here to present the case? If we could get your name and address for the record and any comments you might have regarding the application?
Okay, I'm first time hearing, coming to the meeting, I don't know the protocol properly. I purchased the lot to.
Your name and address?
Okay, my name is Muhammad Jafar Hanif, and my current address is 804 Bullock Drive, 804 Bullock Drive, that's the property address. My residential address is 4528 Bruni Street, Irving, Texas, 75062.
Thank you for that. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add to the application that you have?
No, nothing. So Mary, she covered all the aspects of that.
And you're in agreement with the staff conditions as
Yes.
presented?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions of the applicant by the commission? Cindy? No, see you're nodding no. Okay. All righty.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
This is a public hearing. Is there anybody who'd like to speak for or against the proposed application? Yeah, it's a public hearing. You may come down and ask a question. So we'll need your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Angelita Diaz, 816 Bullock Street. So, and I live on the side of where this 804 is. If you go back to the map of it, all the businesses there put up a brick fence. So they pretty much blocked our alleyway as it is right now. Because we have wood fences, they have brick fences, the businesses do. Where you come up to Dickey's, they have just a pole that blocks our alleyway there. The driveway where the drive-through is, there's like a pole there. And so the biggest thing is are they going to put another brick fence to block off Dickey's from that neighborhood, from that little alleyway, whatever you want to call it there? It really is an alleyway. It's just the difference between those two to keep it consistent with what we have, because, in the past it hasn't been consistent. If we're going to do it, let's be consistent.
So Mary, I'll let Mary answer that.
So typically when the commercial property is built, they're required to put the brick screening wall.
There wasn't one.
In this instance, because I'm guessing because there's the driveway, so there's not a wall there. So Mr. Hanif is asking to basically just put back up the wood fence to separate his property.
Okay.
So what your question, where the yellow line is that backs up to
Actually, where
the
red
alley?
line is, it should be where the red line is, because the businesses like the coffee shop and the other stores there, they have a brick fence already.
Right, so nothing's going to be constructed there, just where his property is, the yellow, he'll put up the wood fence.
Okay. And the size of the house, will it be consistent with what we currently have there?
So there's the zoning limits the size of the house based on.
Right, so the zoning will determine what is allowed by right.
Okay. That's all I have.
While you're here, ma'am, are you for or against the proposed application?
I'm for it. I mean, because I've been here since 1971, so, I've been here for 56 years. But the thing of it is that we've seen a lot of changes, and, we know the house burned, we knew the family when the house burned. We know that another house burned, never rebuilt, due to zoning. So, we're happy to see it come back. We just want to make sure that things are consistent because one, our alleyway was taken away when the brick fences were put up. We weren't given a choice about that. So are we going to make that consistent across the board is what I just want to make sure about.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak for or against the proposed application? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any discussion by the commission?
Yeah, so, Mary, what is the ownership of the alley today? Who owns the alley? Or the strip of land between?
Right, it's unutilized, so I believe it's a utility easement.
Okay.
I remember this came up with a case down the
Yes,
street,
yeah.
but, yeah, unused.
Unused.
Yeah.
It's really unused, it's not paved, and it has utilities in it, not the traditional vehicle traffic.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Any other questions by the commission or any other discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve PD 198R SF7 zoning change for North Lake Estates Rev, Lot 23A,
With the conditions as presented?
with the conditions as presented by the staff.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Dobmeyer. Is there a second?
A second.
We have a second by Vice Chair Blankenship. Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or nice. I call your name. Commissioner Dobmeyer.
Aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship.
Aye.
Chairman Haas.
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer.
Aye.
And Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Very good. Thank you very much. Best of luck there. Item number 9 is a public hearing. This is to consider approval of S-1269-LI, that being Park West Commerce Center Lot 2R, Block 5, Golf TRK. Special use permit to allow an indoor commercial amusement use in an office building located at 1199 South Beltline, Suite 160, on the northwest corner of South Beltline Road and Wrangler Drive, at the request of the property owner, being 1199 South Beltline, Inc., and Christopher Merrill of Golf TRK Coppell. We have a staff presentation by Mr. Matt Steer. Matt?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. This is item number 9 on your agenda. In 1998, City Council approved 2 104,000 square foot buildings. The first building was constructed on the eastern portion of the property. In 2011, a request to allow the development of an 85,000 square foot building on the western property, the property just west of the yellow here, was approved, and this has since been constructed. The current request is in the northwest corner of the eastern 104,000 square foot building, which I'll show you on this slide right here, Suite 160. So this is a special use permit request for an indoor commercial amusement use within an office building zone light industrial. As described by the applicant, Golf TRK is a membership-based indoor golf training and performance facility designed by golfers for golfers, combining market-leading golf technology with expert guidance. Golf TRK provides a superior training experience that enhances golfers' skills at all levels. Franchise model will offer a cutting-edge, high-quality facility equipped with advanced simulators, swing analysis tools, and a custom short game area for individual and group practice. So the proposed hours of operation for private members with security access extend from 5 a.m. to 12 p.m., and for non-members from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. by appointment. The floor plan shows the proposed layout of the space with 6 to 7 bays devoted to the golf simulators, an office, a water station, restrooms, a lounge, and a teaching club fitting area. This is I think, the short game practice area in the middle. The parking analysis part of the reason for requiring a special use permit is to determine if adequate parking is available to accommodate the proposed use. The applicant's provided a parking analysis of the current and proposed uses and has demonstrated that there are currently 370 parking spaces required and 371 parking spaces provided. The various uses within the building have different parking needs ranging from 1 parking space per 300 square feet for professional office uses, 1 per 175 for medical office uses, and the proposed use requires 1 parking space per 100 square feet. We sent out 3 letters within 200 feet and 6 letters within 800 feet. We received no responses either in favor or opposition. We're recommending approval of special use permit 1269 LI with no outstanding conditions. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is in the audience as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Matt. Any questions by the commission of staff? Okay, is the applicant here to present the case? Same drill. Name and address for the record, please.
Address of the location of my home.
Well, where you live, where your
Chris
or your
Merrill,
business.
351 Westlake Drive.
Okay.
Coppell,
And
Texas.
Are there any comments you'd like to add to the application?
No, I think he did a good job in summary. It's the actual title by it, although it's TRK is golf track, somewhat of a play on words, just like if you play a golf course, it is termed a golf track. So it is part of a growing franchise, so it'll be the first one located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay. There are no outstanding conditions on the case. I have more curious questions. What is the typical profile of activity? Weekday, weekends, and then the hours that you have peak demand?
Yeah, good question. So I think he has so there's 6 golf simulator bays, and there's also a 7th, which is the one up in yellow. It's a teaching bay. It's a little wider bay that also allows for a golf instructor to have equipment, because a general manager that will operate the place will be a PGA teaching professional as well. So the fluctuation, really what they found, you would think that, hey, it would peak in the morning, like a gym. It would peak in the morning and peak in the evening. That's why the hours are 5 a.m. to midnight, right? You want to allocate that your membership-based model has an opportunity to do it. But also what they found in the other locations, right? You have a lot of different age groups and dichotomies. You have serious golfers that, when they would get a golf lesson, typically in the winter or when it rains, they'll do it inside. So yes, your typical peak traction is probably going to be from 5 to 8 a.m. and then 5 p.m. till later in the evening.
And is it weekday, weekend?
Both, all days.
Around.
Right.
Okay.
So, and again, membership-based model, so that way you can come and go as you please. As you ask about the traction, you reserve a bay with like a 2-hour limit.
Gotcha.
So just like you would go to a bowling alley or a batting cage, you do that, except for now with the like all the bays will be powered by TrackMan technology. I don't know if anyone is a golfer, but if you watch, the PGA or see it, the thing that tracks the ball, a lot of that is TrackMan technology. So not only does it allow you to play indoor golf, which golf is an $88 billion industry, but is rapidly growing indoors, again, for things like I said, time, commitments, seasonality of it as well. The other thing is time allotment, right? Like for me, like a father of 3, like my golf time to play went downhill. When you need 5 to 6 hours to get out, you can play on the TrackMan one of hundreds of courses within an hour or less to play an 18-hour round.
And then, so it's a driving net, so...
It's a screen.
Oh, it's a screen.
So it's a screen, yeah. So the screen, everything is on the screen and visual. The TrackMan is in the ceiling or hanging onto this projector screen, and everything that catches on the screen.
And you're hitting into a curtain or something to...
Correct. The screen is in itself. Like the screen is specifically for that, but it does, act like a curtain. Yeah. It's removed a foot from the wall. So also questions that have come up from like sound perspective, all of the sound is mitigated primarily through that. Yeah. So that's not a concern.
We have to keep our millennials entertained in the office, so we have one in our office, mm-hmm. and we, when you close the doors, and you really don't hear it. When the door opens, you can hear if someone's has really.
Well, yeah, and what you actually hear is probably the crack of a driver,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So just like that, but
And they're not on the common wall, the screen is not on the common wall of the adjacent operation, right?
No,
Okay.
so the entrance is in the back left corner where the blue is. That's
Right.
where the entrance lounge is. And all of what you'll be hitting into on that side is all window screen that will be like filmed off and then covered, so that way.
And then the teaching one will be hitting toward the lounge, I presume?
No, it'll actually be hitting towards that exterior wall
Okay.
again.
Okay. The only other question is that, if I were to get a membership, do I guarantee I'll get 20 points shaved off my stroke? I mean, my golf game is just Hurricane Eddie, but no.
It does. I mean, without digressing too much into like the usability of it, you do like all the members will have full data, like your data access. So you, even down to like however you hit each ball and contact. So yes, with like anything, you'll improve.
Very good. Any other questions of the applicant? Sue?
I just had a quick question. It looked like in some of the pictures on the website that there's a bar. Is this one anticipated to have a bar?
No, so you must, I don't know if you went to golftrack.com. There's not a bar. It is not the Topgolf type or some of the other indoor concepts that are centered around like social activities. It is, like I mentioned, a membership-based model that is typically around people that want to play more golf. I mean, Coppell in itself has one golf course in it, and public golf, River Chase. But exactly. So no, to answer your question, no.
Thank you.
Any other questions of the applicant?
Ed, I have a sort of an off-track question also, but
Yes, ma'am.
so there used to be a golf simulator place on the exterior of Grapevine Mills. It was next to Blue Goose. That had bays you could hit into with that, I think that same tracer technology. Do you know if this is the same thing?
I don't know about, is that facility still open?
No, it's closed.
No, there are a few other technologies in the marketplace, but TrackMan has become, or has been for a while, like the predominant one used by the PGA Tour, a lot of teaching professionals.
Yeah, I was just curious if it was similar. Okay, thanks.
No, good.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, this is a public hearing. Is there anybody who'd like to speak for or against the proposed application? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any final discussion, or is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve S1269 LI Park West Commerce Center, Lot 2R, Block 5, golf track and special use permit to allow for indoor amusement use with no outstanding conditions.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Marr. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Blankenship. Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Sorry. Commissioner Dobbmeyer?
Aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship?
Aye.
Chairman Haas?
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer?
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop?
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much. Best of luck there. Item 10 on the agenda is update on city council items. We reviewed that in pre-session. Any other final thoughts from staff on council items? Okay, seeing none. We'll move to item 11. That's adjournment. So with that, it is 6:59. I'll adjourn our meeting.